Hello guys, so today I'm going to review the Nektar Impact LX61 Plus, which I've been using for over than 2 years now. So this thing is called MIDI controller, which means this thing doesn't actually produce sounds unless you plug it up on your DAW like a Bitwig, Studio One, GarageBand, Ableton, and so on. And also you can put it on the VST, like it's short for virtual instruments, maybe like a contact, Alkaline Audio. So you can buy one of those things and just play with it. But if you want something that produces sounds right off the bat, like a piano or digital piano, you should buy those instead of this, because this one is only act like a controller. So think of it like if you wanna play a FIFA on a PC, you will usually play it with your keyboard and mouse. But some people, maybe they will play it using the Xbox controller because it's more comfortable for them to play it with the controller. So it's exactly like that in this case. So the game is the DAW or your virtual instrument, and the controller is the MIDI controller itself. So actually, if you have a DAW with the piano instruments, you can actually play it with your computer keyboard. But yeah, then again, it wouldn't be so comfortable without the MIDI controller. Okay, so let's get on with this. So the Impact LX comes in 4 different variations. The first is LX25 Plus. The second is 49 and 61 Plus, and the high-end one is 88 Plus. So the number of each of the title represents the number of the key. So if you buy the 25 Plus, that means you have 25 keys, which means you have 2 octaves. And if you buy the 49, you'll have 49 keys, 61 plus, 61 keys, and so on. So which one to buy, it actually depends on you. If you prefer to only play with your right hand, the melody part, you can buy the 25. But then again, if you actually want to learn keyboard or piano, I suggest you buy the 61 plus, because it has 5 octaves like this. You can actually play with 2 hands, unlike the 49. Yeah, you can play with 2 hands with 49, but you have some limitations to it. If you are a beginner starting out to learn the piano, maybe 49 it's okay. But after 3 months or so after you learn the basics, you will need an upgrade. So I think buying 61 from the start, from the beginning, it's better than 49. Okay, so let's see the main body over here. On the left side, you will have the octaves and transpose buttons, along with the modulation wheel and pitch wheel. If you want to bend the pitch, you can use it. Later on, I will give you the example. And over here, you will see the Nektar logo over there. And next to it, you will have the 9 faders with the buttons. And this one, you will usually use it if you have a mixer on your DAW, and then you can control each bangs, the volume. If you want to control the first channel volume, then you can turn up and down the faders corresponding to each channel that you have in your project. So over here, you will have the main buttons, the mixer, instrument, preset, shift/mute, drag down, drag up, and patch down and patch up. These buttons, you will use it mainly to control your DAW. So for example, you want to change between tracks, you can use it with drag down and drag up. If you want to change your preset on a instrument, you can use the patch down and patch up buttons. But keep in mind that these buttons will have different functions, different key bindings on each of the DAW. So for example, if you press the track down on your Bitwig, it will behave differently in the other DAW. So maybe you will have to check the manual book on the Nektar website, because they have the details over there, which buttons do this thing and that thing. And next to it you will have 8 knobs that you can use, and again this will have different key bindings and different functions on every DAW. But in my DAW, this thing can be used to pan your tracks. So if you want to pan it to the left, just turn it to the left, and if you want to pan it to the right, you just turn it to the right. And the button, you will have the transport buttons. So this one is from the left side is the loop buttons, left, right, stop, play, and record. And over here you will have the pads. You have 8 pads. This guys is velocity sensitive thing, so if you press it light and hard, it will produce different sounds with different volume, depends on how hard you press these pads. Now the keys itself is pretty clanky, noisy. Hear that? Especially if I play a chord like this. Yeah. But for me personally, I didn't have any problem with this, because I usually play it using a headphone, so it's not a big problem for me. But I don't know for you. And the one thing that is the most important is the feeling of the keys. These keys actually bounce back if you press it, so it's not like just pressing your fingers through a plastic, but they did have some weight onto it. This keys actually is velocity sensitive, same like the pads, so if you press it lightly and hard, it will produce different sounds in different volumes. And over here on the back, there is a 1/4 inch TRS for your sustain pedal, and the USB power cable is here, and the on-off switch. So if you buy this thing, it will comes with the USB power cable and the main body itself. There is no sustain, so if you want a sustain pedal, you will have to buy it separately. Okay, so let's plug this in and just try it now. Okay, so now I have connected my Nektar LX61 Plus into my PC, and I have started my Studio One, which is my DAW, and I have placed my additive key, and let's play. So for starters, let's check the octave buttons. So if I press the up octave, basically it's changing my middle C into the higher C. Yeah, you can see here. And the second is the transpose buttons. So what this does is actually increasing your note by a half step. So for example, this is my C. If I press my transpose, then my C will become C sharp, and my C sharp will become D, and so on. Next is the pitch wheel. It's pretty straightforward to use it. If you want to pitch your note higher, then you pan it up. If you want to pan it lower, then just pull down the wheel. And for the modulation, it's also straightforward. If you play a chord like this, and if you
pull the modulation up, then it will give you some vibration, and if you pull it down, it will give you no vibration at all. Okay, so as for the keys, like I've said before, the keys here are velocity sensitive. So if I press it softer than the usual, it will produce small sounds. If you press it more harder, then you will get a louder sound. Next, for the faders. So for the faders, if I turn up this, like this and down like this, it will change the first channel of my track. This is for the second, and this is for the third. As you can see here, it has no volume. This is the master one, so it will change the active channel, which is number 3. For the button itself, it will mute the channel like this. So this is the main buttons. I have 3 virtual instruments here, 3 channels. So if I want to move to the next channel, I can just press the next track buttons like this. This is the second. And if I press it again, we will change the active channel to the third. To bring up the mixer, you can press the shift plus mixer. It will bring up the mixer window. And keep in mind that every DAW will have different key bindings, so you will have to check it on the manual. Next, the transport buttons. This is the play buttons, but we don't have anything, so let's record something simply by pressing the record button. Let's press the play button. It will play your current record. It has also loop, but to activate the loop, you will have to set the marker first. By pressing the shift left track, it will set the left marker. Shift plus right, it will set the right marker. And just press the loop button like this, and it will loop the whole project. And if I want to record something in the second track, I can just press the next track and then press the record button, and I can record on the fly like this. As for the knobs, it will change the panning of your track. So let's bring up the mixer first. So if I turn my knobs to the left, my top left knobs, it will change the panning on the first channel, and this one for the second channel, second track, and so on. As for the pads, I usually use this for the drums, but I did not install any drum instruments now, so it's behave like a normal key. Okay, so we have checked all of the components on the Nektar Impact LX61 Plus. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me down in the comment section. And that's all. I hope you enjoyed the video and see you in the next video. Thank you guys.